I'm really nervous. I just got a package from Simon & Schuster in the mail. Inside of it is the finished copy of my book. I've been waiting a really long time for this. I've been waiting for this since I was maybe 6 years old, and would go to the library and check out every single book they had. I used to read the books, and in the margins of the books I'd write my own poetry. I think I knew at that age I wanted to be a writer because I loved words. I was fascinated with words and what they can do to somebody. I was really shy back then and I didn't have a ton of friends. I was bullied a little bit in school, and books were my escape. I learned everything from books. I learned how to expand my imagination. I learned about love. I learned about sadness. I learned about grief. Books changed my life, and I knew very early on that I wanted to eventually write one. I never really knew how hard it would be to become a published author. I think I started to realize that when I was, 14 years old, and my journalism teacher told me that I would never be a writer. I graduated college and I worked for a magazine, and my boss sat me down and she told me that I was never going to be a good enough writer. All my life I've had people tell me that I shouldn't, I couldn't, I wouldn't. Being a writer is a stupid job and you'll never make money. And my family, my close friends, they always supported me no matter what. And I don't know why they always believed in me, but they did. And I think because of that, I forced myself to believe in myself. I wrote a book in 2013. It was an ebook. It was very hard to get that published. And I wanted to write a book about how life was after college. And I wrote a book proposal. I got an agent, and we shopped it around, and we got 40 rejections. And when rejections come to you, they actually come in email. So you get 40 separate emails from publishers saying, "You're not good enough, your writing wasn't great, we're not going to buy the book." And I got rejected because I didn't have enough Twitter followers and I didn't have a big enough platform, and I gave up on that project. That's my biggest regret, is giving up on that. That's when I realized to be a published author, you had to be much more, and I never understood why that was. Why couldn't your writing speak for you? We live in a world now where who you are in social media matters, and it can help catapult you. And I don't think it's the best thing in the world, but that's just the world. That's what really got me thinking of, how can I get noticed? I think that's a lot of what motivated me to start Bridesmaid for Hire. I wanted to do something for the world that was helping people, but also teaching me new things. Here I was writing a book proposal for Bridesmaid for Hire, and that took me a year to get fully written and approved by my agent. And then we started shopping it to publishers, and here I was again with this immense fear that it wouldn't be bought. This baby of mine, these stories that lived inside of me that I wanted to tell, would never be bought because I didn't have enough Twitter followers, or because I wasn't, on the news enough. It's a really difficult process. What you do is they shop it to a bunch of different publishers in a time frame. So they say, you have this amount of time to give us a yes or no. And if you have multiple offers, it goes into an auction, people bid. That's an author's dream, and I by no means thought that was going to happen. Over this month's period of time, my agent is shopping it out to publishers, and we're getting rejections again, left and right. I'd say a couple times a week I got email rejection letters from publishers in my inbox, and I remember just going to my mom, like, this is never gonna happen. This crazy big dream of mine that my stories would be bought by a mainstream publisher and published for the world to read, that's never gonna happen. She looked at me and she said to me, it only takes one. It only takes one. And just because you're getting these rejections by the dozen doesn't mean it's over. That was pretty much the only reason that I was able to go through this process again and deal with getting rejected. It's not easy, no matter who you are, how many times you've been rejected. Rejection is not easy, and here I was getting these emails once again telling me that I wasn't good enough, when I knew deep down inside of me that I was. Well, on the final day of that process, the bidding closes at 12 o'clock. 3 outstanding publishers, and I was waiting to hear if they were going to say yes or no. I remember I was at work and I was checking my email, refreshing it from 8 a.m. until 12. 11:45, I got an email, and the email said, "We love your book and we want you to come in and tell us more." And then 11:47, the second one came in, and then 11:50, a third one came in, and I just remember that I couldn't breathe. Ran out of my office. I was working full time, and I ran out of my office. I pressed the elevator button. I went downstairs, and I collapsed. I took out my cell phone and I called my mom and I said, "You're right, it only took one." And here I was getting this remarkable, outstanding opportunity that I wanted since I was 6 years old. And I really didn't think was going to happen. Phone call from Jante, an editor at Simon & Schuster, and she said, I want you to write a book about the things you've learned. And she said she loved learning about my dating life in the book proposal, or my attempts at my dating life, and she loved learning about the strangers I met on the job and what they taught me, and she loved learning about the pieces of my childhood that tied in together as to why I would do a crazy job like this. The writing process, isn't easy. First, you outline every single chapter, you talk about how the story is going to flow, you show that to the editor, you work through that together. I had 3 months to write the book, and to be totally honest, I didn't start until I had 2 months left. So I had exactly 2 months to write the book, 60 days, and I did a chapter every other day, and it was my life. I would sit on this couch behind me, and I would write from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Only had pretty much pizza and bananas. It was a very strenuous process, and by the end of it, you're screaming. I remember my roommate would come home and I'd be in my room just on my computer screaming, I want this to end, it's painful. You are draining your memories, you're draining your heart and your soul. When it was over, I felt for the first time incredible. I thought that I would, put my last period on my last sentence and send it in on that 2-month deadline and feel like it wasn't ready, but I felt incredible about it. I've never finished any piece of work and said, I'm proud of myself. And this book is the moment that I am so proud of myself because I've worked so hard to get this, and I've worked on my writing for years. I wrote before anyone ever read anything I wrote, and I have just had this strong dedication to writing, and here is my final product. I'm so excited to share it with you, and it comes out on February 7th. I have the finished copy in my hands right now. I want to share this moment with you because I know that we're all always so close to giving up. We are always 1 or 2 rejections away from saying, enough, I'm done, I'm going to try something else. This is my living proof that if you do not give up and you fight so freaking hard, you will make it. You will make it to do whatever it is you want to do. And I want you to take this as your proof that you should never give up on your wildest dreams, never let people call you crazy, never let them reject you. So I honestly haven't seen the finished version of the book yet. All I've seen is the manuscript in pages like this, and they actually gave me a fake book with the book cover on it, so this isn't even the book, it's just they put a fake book cover on it, so I haven't actually held the real book before. I'm gonna open it now. It's real. It smells like a new book.